Hey there folks, and welcome back for another shaving video. I'm your host CDB, or you can call me Chris. And today we are going to use the Leaf razor with Astra SP blades on the dome. We're also going to be using a sample sent to me by a viewer who works with the Aurora Police Department. And yes, I just dropped the patch in the water inadvertently, but it will dry out. I'm not going to mention his name, but thank you again, sir. This one is MERshaving, which is an Etsy vendor. Now, right now, it's important to note their store is closed during this COVID-19 thing, but I assume they will open afterwards. This one, this particular sample is called Sea Breeze, and it is a duck fat formula. Let me go ahead and show you the ingredients right there so you can get a look at that. The price on this soap is $18 for 5 ounces, and that comes to $3.60 per ounce. And there you see on our cost chart is a reasonable price, and it says free shipping, so that's pretty good. Let me show you a picture of some of their offerings there. Again, that's just a picture I took off their Etsy site. So when they do start making soaps again, if you're interested, again, it's called MERshaving. And thank you again, sir, for the sample. I really appreciate it. So let's get going today. Oh, before I get too far into this, I want to mention we're going to be doing YouTube live stream Friday night, this Friday, which is, I wrote it down, 10 April at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And to try to accommodate everyone, or at least as many people as possible, we're going to do one on Saturday, the 11th of April, 2020 at 3 p.m. So I realize that a lot of our viewers are in different time zones and in Europe and all over the world. And I hope that by setting 2 different times, it will help folks. I'm going to apply a little pre-shave here, if I can get it off my coaster there. So I hope you all will join me for the live stream. We're just gonna talk shop, and obviously it won't be any good if you don't show up because we're just gonna chat, and I think it'll be fun. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, we've got this is Razor Rock. It is a lime pre-shave. The only thing about those pre-shaves that come in the cube form, it makes your hands very slick, which you definitely don't want when you're shaving your head. We're going to have a discussion also today about head shaving. And I want to mention, I saw a video from Guy. Guy, his former channel is the Gentleman's Edge, but now he has a channel called the Shaving Chronicles. 2 channels. The old channel is still there, so you can go check it out. Anyway, Guy does a lot of straight razor work, hones and refurbishes, excuse me, straight razors. And he's been doing it for quite some time. Anyway, the other day he decided, or actually it was yesterday, he decided, I'm going to shave my head because I can't get a haircut and it's driving me nuts and I'm bored. And so he shaved the dome. And honestly, it doesn't look bad. He did a pretty good job. He shaved most of it with a straight, and that's very difficult. Those of you who have never shaved your head just don't understand. And so he did, I'd say, well over half of it with the straight, and then finished. He got some cuts on the back with the DE, but it's really hard to shave in blind spots when you're used to seeing right here in front of your face. When you head shave, half of it you don't see, maybe arguably over half of it. Anyway, by the way, the soap smell on this is like sort of a sea breeze. It's a light scent. I call it about 3 to 3.5. No problems lathering though. This is plenty adequate enough for a head shave, and we'll see how it performs with our Leaf. I also wanted to talk a little bit today. Let's get a cloth. Wipe the back off there a little bit. The DC Shaves, David, son of John Shaves 101. He is, he's not a older gentleman, younger gentleman. I think he said he was in his 30s. And his hair is thinning. So the other day he got it cut, or maybe he might have even cut it himself, a really short buzz cut, which looks good in my opinion. Anyway, he tells me he's been thinking about shaving the dome, but he's apprehensive because, people in his life are like, don't do it. And so what I wanted to do was just take some time to explain how men feel, or at least based on my conversation with other men who shave their heads. about the hair. So women, and Abigail, if you're watching, I hope you will listen, and thanks for watching. Men, when they have hair, feel strongly about it just like women do. So women are very particular about their hair. Well, men are. Men are also quite particular, and it means something to them in the same way that your hair does if you're a woman. And so when you start to lose it, that puts a lot of men in a very difficult position, because many men, like me, more traditional style, are like, I'm not using rugs, drugs, and plugs to pay Rogaine or plugs where they do surgery. They're just like, I'm not doing it. And they're not in it for the comb over either. They're like, I'm not going to do a comb over. Just not going to do it. And so that leaves them in a very vulnerable position, because the hair is leaving. Nature has already decided, so Mother Nature and the genes, generally speaking, I believe, from your mother, that is passed down mostly, as I understand it, from your mother's side. It is predetermined. More or less, you're going to lose your hair, if you are or are not. Once that starts happening, it puts men in a bind, because once the hair starts leaving, men don't feel very confident, because, many people just identify with their hair. They see it every day. It's on their face. It's part of who they are, much in the way that women's hair. Did I just cut myself there? I hope not. That razor skidded there. I don't know what happened there. That was a weird... Yep, I did. Look at that. Man. Yet another cut with the leaf. Anyway, I don't know what happened there, but we'll tend to it after the shave. Anyway, this is not a good promotional shave when I cut myself. I've had a rough time with cutting myself on the dome with the leaf lately. I don't know what. Something happened there and that razor jumped. I'll have to go back and look at it on video. Let me get a styptic real quick, and I'll just close that up real quick. Okay, let's tend to that very quickly. Anyway, while we do the styptic thing here, and hopefully that will suffice. If not, we'll work on it later. So men start feeling badly, in the same way that you would if you were losing your hair. And just imagine if you're a woman losing your hair. It's more common for men. So people see it and they don't think much of it. But for younger men in particular, when they start losing their hair and they're not even 40 years old, it becomes an issue, because most people associate balding heads, not bald heads, but balding heads. You're in the process of balding with being older, like perhaps in your 60s, And so that puts a young man in a very precarious position. And some men, it hurts their confidence. They begin to feel badly about it. And so therefore they're left with a choice. What am I going to do? Am I going to continue to bald and look like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons? Whereas a lot of guys bald, what happens is they'll have hair here, but it starts to go in the back and the front. And so they'll look like Mr. Burns off The Simpsons. Not a great look. I think we can most of us agree. And when you are not even 40 years old, or your 30s or in your early 40s, it's kind of disheartening for a man. And so that's what causes a lot of men to decide they're going to shave the head. Because actually when you shave your hair, you look younger than if you're balding, in a lot of cases. And I can show you, if I can find one, I'll put up a picture here somewhere in the video and show you what my hair looked like and what I look like prior to shaving. Now, granted, I was a little heavier and I had glasses on and all that kind of stuff. But I can assure you, with or without glasses, I look significantly younger with the bald head. And so, or at least that's what I'm told by almost everybody. So it's a matter of, for a lot of men, taking control of the situation and deciding for yourself. Because if you don't decide for yourself, it will be decided for you when the hair leaves. And so then you're running around looking like Mr. Burns, or you consider rugs, drugs, and plugs, which many of us traditional type males just don't want any part of. We're like, no. The other option is the comb over, which everybody makes fun of universally. So that's not a good, that's not a good measure either. And so we're left with the choice. Go ahead and do what nature is going to do without fail over time, or get in front of it a little bit. And so a lot of men just choose to get in front of it. And here's the thing. When you first shave your head, it is a stark change because people aren't used to seeing it, you know, and you get the looks and the comments and so on and so forth. But after a while, it just becomes you. Did I get myself? Wow. No, that must have previously been there on the side. At least I'm hoping. Either that or I'm doing very poorly with the leaf all of a sudden. Anyway, boy, that styptic, where that styptic is not slick at all. So if you try to shave over that, there is no slickness. That styptic just sucks every bit of moisture out of it. Anyway, we'll continue on. So the initial few weeks is stark. And people are like, what happened to you? Did you lose a bet? So on and so forth. But after that, when it becomes normal, you just take to it. And so what I would say in David's case, the DC shaves, he's already taken it down very, very close. And so if you really wanted to shave your head, now would be a great time. Because one, you're confined at home, so nobody's really going to see it. And you can decide whether you like it or not. And if you don't, in a few days, you're going to be growing stubble back anyway, and you're going to be right where you were with the buzz cut within a week or so. And so if you really want to do it right now, now is the time, you know, because you're not going to have to deal with people as you might normally. But I would say, generally speaking, if you just let it, shave it, give it some time, you know, and see what happens. And if you don't like it, you can always grow what you can grow back. But keep in mind that Mother Nature is making that decision, and genes, heredity, you know, all the rest of it. They're making the decision. Nature is deciding. But what you can do is take control of that situation and say, okay, well, I'm going to clean this up, essentially, you know, so I don't look like Mr. Burns, or I don't have a comb over, or so on. So it allows a man a choice, and it allows them to feel like they're in control of the situation rather than being controlled by the hair or by nature, whatever you want to call it. So those are my thoughts on head shaving. I did it 3 years ago. And again, if I find the photos, I'll show you, you know, or you can go back and watch the video. It's on my outlet or channel. You can go watch my anniversary shave, and I run in that video. I'll link it below. I run my old video, my first head shave, in that video. And no, the first few times it's not pretty. And yes, you can cut yourself just like I did. I don't know what happened there. I guess I just wasn't paying attention. Somehow the razor jumped. But as you can see, you know, no big deal. Will be nothing more than a red spot. And I already had the other wounds from the legendary live shave, which I had a lot of fun with. So Samantha, I would say, if David really wants to do it, maybe give him a chance. The good news is, if you don't like it, you're not going to have to worry about other women liking it either. So they're not going to, you know. And I know David's probably not the type of guy to step out anyway. And I'm sure he doesn't want to. You all are a lovely family with good values, as far as I can tell. I'm making a joke there. But if he does do it, give it a while to sink in. Like, don't let your initial impressions run wild. You know, let it set in, get used to it. And worst case, you grow it back, you know. And now, not very many people are going to see you because you're pretty much stuck at home. Within a few days, there'll be stubble and it'll be like a buzz, you know, anyway. So now is definitely the time if you want to experiment with head shaving, to do it. There's no better time. And again, Abby, I would say the reason why a lot of men want to do it is it allows them to take control. In the same way that you want to take control of your hair or your hairstyle, I don't think there are any women that want their partners or husbands to tell them what to do with their hair. And I don't believe we should. You know, males shouldn't. That is a very important thing for women, their hair, the way they dress. And in my opinion, men shouldn't be dictating to women anything, let alone how they keep their hair. That was a pretty good shave, other than that one cut. Again, it can't be a great shave because I got a cut, so I can't say no weepers, creepers, you know. But it was fun, and I've passed on some information that I just hope you will consider. And no, David did not ask me to do it, Abigail. It's just something that has been on my mind because I know guys are shaving their heads right now because they're like, what the heck? Like I mentioned, Guy from the Shaving Chronicles decided to shave his head. And one other thing, if you do shave your head, I think it's generally better to have a little bit of facial hair just to sort of break up all that skin. That's just me. Or at least get a little sun. That's what I like to do. Anyway, let me rinse. We'll come back with the post. Stay tuned. And all right, we're back with our Lancaster towel. And I made a video on this yesterday. It is quite soft and awesome. I have no buyer's remorse. Because pretty much one of the things about this towel, if you just blot, it just sort of wicks the moisture away. You don't have to do any rubbing, which I think is cool. Let's set that aside for a moment while we grab our Humphreys witch hazel, and we'll slap that on the dome. I don't know what happened there with that cut. I wish I knew. Maybe when I'm looking at the video and doing the minor edits, I'll be able to see. Somehow that razor jumped, and it's probably just me blabbing and not paying attention the way I should, but it definitely got me a little bit there. Certainly not like it did the other time when I wasn't really paying attention at all. You do need to pay attention when using this razor. It's a good shaver, and it feels like a cart, but it will cut you like a DE if you're not paying attention. It is not a cart. Keep that in mind. So today, the soap, which went pretty good. Honestly, I wasn't evaluating the quality of the soap, but this was from MERshaving. It's a duck fat formula. It seemed pretty decent to me. Let's look at it let's pull some out of the brush and just, yeah, it feels nice and slick. Well, here we go. Let's see. Plenty of slickness there. I would say that my consistency of this, the way I whipped it up, it's not quite as silky as the Oleo duck type formula, but it definitely feels plenty slick enough. It's a serviceable soap. I just can't speak to the quality because I really wasn't paying attention during the shave. But the slickness is there for sure. There is cushion and glide there. So on those counts, I think it's pretty good. The scent is light, but it does give you that sea breeze kind of. So overall, I think it was pretty good. I would really have to use it again on my face really to really delve in and evaluate it further, but there's definitely good slickness there. So from that perspective, that is quite good. I'm going to wipe this off my hands and then finish this up today. Again, I hope to see you folks back for the live streams. And Abby, if you've hung in this far, thank you for listening to me. You may not agree. That is okay. David is your husband, not mine. So certainly you two make the decisions that are right for you. But please consider that men feel a lot about their hair like you do. And honestly, I don't miss my hair at all. I feel much better being bald. It was the right choice for me. It's not the right choice for every single person, I don't think. But really, that's an individual decision that each person with hair, males, typically males, but also females in some cases, have to decide. We're going to use the Wet the Face Quiet Man, which is a green Irish tweed type scent today on the dome. And close this baby out. I want to thank everybody once again. Been making, obviously, sometimes 2 videos a day recently because, you know, we are stuck at home and I've been throwing in some additional head shaves. And plus I missed a few head shaves when I had, you know, all the cuts on the other side. Hopefully that one won't be anything more than a red spot. I don't know what happened there, but I will go back and watch. I want to thank you all for joining me. Thanks everybody for everything. I really appreciate it. And I want to remind you, until next time, it's your shave, do it your way, and it's your hair, do what you want with it. God bless.